Hello, today I'm going to go over creating a Discord Python bot with discord.py. In this tutorial there are going to be 8 steps for these Discord basics, and we're going to do the setup, events, commands, cogs, tasks. We're going to create a moderation cog, an admin cog, and also a pull cog. I'm going to walk you through all the steps to create your Discord bot, and the end result, you'll have a bot that connects to your server and you can interact with it in different ways. Some of them being you can play rock, paper, scissors with it. You can get it to send you images. There's various commands. We can also set up a help command, and we can also check for various roles. We can also run polls. The possibilities are potentially endless, so we're gonna go over the basics, and yeah, we'll take it from there. All right, in order for us to get this Python bot up and running, we gotta set up a few things. The first thing you want to do is go to discord.com if you haven't already and download it for your operating system, and then also set up your Discord account. You want to download Python. The version that I'm going to be using is version 3.12. We're going to use Emojipedia to get different emojis that we're going to use in the program. And then once you get set up with Discord, you want to go to the developer portal, and this is where we're going to set up the bot. The library we're going to be using to interact with Discord is called discord.py, and this library is going to be basically the main thing that's going to be creating our interactions between Discord and our bot application. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is make sure you get Discord and Python installed. Once you have them installed, you want to set up your Windows environment system, environment variables for your account, so you can set up the Python home and the path for Python. So you can see here I set Python home to where the Python exe file is, and then also if we look in this path here, I added the scripts folder. If we look here, we can find the Python file where Python lives at by going to Windows, Users, then going to your username. You might need to reveal hidden folders, but there's a folder here called app data. If you go in there, you go to local, and then there should be programs, local programs, and then Python lives right here, and then Python 3.12. Here's the python.exe, and then also Python scripts. So once you add that into your environment variables, when you run Python on the command line, Windows is going to know which version of Python it needs to use. All right, now that you have Python set up, what you want to do is go to your Discord application, and then you want to add a new server here. So I'm going to create my own server, and let's see, we'll just do it for this one. I'm going to call it bot demo server. Great. Okay, so we got the server set up and we are in the server. Now we need to add the Discord bot and create it. So you want to go to the Discord developer portal. This is a link for it, the Discord developer applications. And once you get here, you'll want to go to new application, and then The application name, I'm going to name it Python bot. Once your bot is created, you can give it a bot image, add a description. Bot that is using discord.py. And then you want to make sure you save the changes. So the important pieces are right here. Once the bot's created, you want to go to this bots tab and you'll get this token. So I'm going to be using this token throughout the course. Now that you have the token, you want to give the bot some more permissions to interact with your server. So we're going to turn all these intents on and we're going to save them. All right. So we have the bot set up and we want to be able to allow it access to our server. And to do that, you want to go to OAuth2 URL generator. And the scopes we're going to set as bot, and the bot permissions, we're going to make it an administrator. Once you select these, it's going to generate a URL that we're going to use to invite the bot. With this URL, you are going to take it and post it in the browser. This is going to ask your bot if it can be invited to your server. So select the server that you created. We did the demo bot server. I'm going to go ahead and continue. Give it administrator, authorize, validate you are human. And now our bot should be able to access our server. All right, cool. So our bot just landed into our server, which means we can start utilizing it. Now, what you need to do is find a place where you can add Python code. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a location here and use VS Code, which is an IDE, or I mean a text editor. So here we can use VS Code to create some Python files. Okay, so we're going to get set up with the Python bot. The first thing you want to make sure is that you have that token needed for your bot. If you don't already, reset the token, grab it and save it. And then go ahead and open a directory where you plan to create your Python bot. I'm going to put it in this location and I'm going to create a file called botmanager.py. Now, before we can start using discord.py with Python, you have to get it installed. And inside of this README here, I added some instructions on how you can install discord.py. If you follow the Windows environment setup, this should work for you. Pip install-u discord.py. Once you have discord.py installed, you can start programming. And the first thing we're going to do is import it with import.discord. If it shows up like that with no errors, then you should be good. And we're also going to get everything else initialized. So I'm going to add the commands extension from discord.ext import commands. Okay, so let's go ahead and so those intents we turned on, we want to add them into this program here. So I'm going to go intents equals discord dot intents all. Intents dot message underscore content equals true. Intents dot members equals true. Intents. And then we're going to set up the bot. The bot equals commands dot bot. And we're going to give each command a prefix. So if we start with this prefix, it's going to let the bot know that it's a command. And we're going to create methods for each of those commands. Intents equals intents. And then we're going to create our own help command. So I'm going to set this help command to none. All right, so let's see if we can get this bot running. What I'm going to do is create an event. So bot.event. And then we're going to find asynchronously define a function on ready. On ready, we want it to print bot is online. And then in order to get this running, we have to do bot.run. And then you got to add that SDK key you got from earlier. So I'm going to go ahead and add my SDK key, which won't be useful after this video is finished. All right, once you have everything set up, you will be able to start the bot. So what we're going to do here in Visual Studio Code is I'm going to go ahead and run this play button. It's going to get the bot up and started. Once the bot is running, we'll see that the bot is online. If we check on the Discord server that we created, we'll see that the Python bot is now online. We can see it here. Okay, so those were the steps we needed for the initial setup. The next video, we're going to go over events. I'll see you there. All right, so now we are going to look into the events for Discord. We already set up a simple event on ready, and we're going to set up two other events, which is on message and when a member joins the channel. So let's go ahead and get into it. You can get more information on events by viewing the discord.py readme and documents. Here's the event reference, which I will add in the description of this video. And so there's other events, but we're going to be looking at two of them. All right, so the first event we're going to make is the onMessage event. So we're going to do bot.event, and it's going to be asynchronous. Define on message, and we're going to take in a message, and we're going to check, is the username equal to message? Username is equal to author dot display name. And if the message dot author equals the bot, then we're going to do nothing. Otherwise, if the message dot content equals hello Python bot, we're going to respond back with a message to the channel, which is we're going to say hello and then the user's name. All right, let's test out and see if this actually works. So make sure you save your work and then click that play button. Bot is online. You go to the Discord channel and we need to say hello Python bot. And it responds with hello and then my username. Awesome. Cool. So the bot is working and it's responding to our messages. Now I'm going to add another event when a member joins the channel. Bot.event async. Find the function on member join. Member. And we're going to just print out something to the logs. A new member is joining. Now we need to get the details. So guild equals member dot guild, and then the guild name equals the guild dot name. DM channel equals await member dot create DM. And then we want to await DM channel send welcome to our guild. I'm going to go ahead and press the play button. Bot is online, so everything's looking good. Let's test this out. What I'm going to need to do is go into incognito mode. So I'm going to open the browser, go into incognito mode, go to discord.com. Going to create a mock user in Discord. So the user is going to be testing user, name human, January 1, 1990. Next. We're going to get an invite. So we're going to pop back onto our Discord server on the top left-hand corner. Select your server name and then invite people. This will pop up a module where you will copy the URL for the server. We'll go back into that incognito window and paste it in here. Now the user has joined our server, and once joining our server, it also received a message from our bot welcoming it to our server as well. Awesome. All right, so that is the basic of events with Discord, and the next thing we're going to go over is commands. So I will see you there. All right, so in this tutorial, we're going to go over some basic commands you can set up for your bot. Those commands are going to be pinging your bot to see if it's online. We're also going to do coin flip and rock, paper, scissors. Okay, so the first command we're going to do is the ping command, which goes as follows: bot.command, and we're going to call it async function. Define ping, and we're going to take in the context. We're going to wait context.send pong. Now we're going to go and check to see if this works. So I will start this Python file here Wait for the bot to come online. Bot is on. Before we can get this command to work, what's happening is when we add the on message, if the on message doesn't capture anything that it's looking for, like hello Python bot, it's going to do nothing. So what we need to tell it to do is to await bot and then process the commands after this. So when I go ahead and restart the bot, get it online, we check on the server and I run the ping command and we'll get a response of Pong. Next, what we want to do is add a coin flip ability. So the bot can do coin flips for us to make decisions. Command async, define the function as coin flip. And we're going to take in the context. We're also going to import another library. It's called random. So I'm going to go up to the top and import random. And this is going to give the bot the ability to randomize the coin flip. So if we go back to coin flip and num equals random dot rand int 1 or 2, if the number equals 1, await context and send heads. If the number equals 2, then we want to send tails. Okay, so now that we got this implemented, let's give it a test run. I'm going to run the application, wait for it to come online, go into our server, and we're going to execute the command coin flip. Okay, so we did coin flip and it returned heads, so that looks great. Okay, so now we're going to create our final event, which is rock, paper, scissors. And from this, we're going to use a little bit of emojis. You can get emojis from Emojipedia. You can search for emojis and select them and then copy them. Once they're copied, you can add them into your source code here. I'm going to have some emojis that I added. You can either get them from the source code or you can get them from Emojipedia themselves. Let's get into adding the rock, paper, scissors command. So bot.command async define rock, paper, scissors command, and we're going to take in the context. We're also going to take in the hand that the user adds to the message. So the hands available are going to be the following. And once again, you can copy this from my GitHub repository, or you can find them on Emojipedia. Add them here. So this one's scissors, paper, and then rock. The bot hand is going to be random dot choice and then pick from one of the hands that we implemented in the list. And the bot hand is equal to that choice. So we're going to await context send the bot hand. And then we're going to do some logic to decide the bot's hand and who wins the outcome. So if hand equals bot hand, then we want to await context and then send it's a draw. Otherwise, we will do the following. So else if the hand equals scissors, and if the bot hand equals paper, await context dot send you won. If the bot hand equals rock, then context dot send the bot won. Otherwise, if the hand equals, let's say, paper, then we want to do the following. If the bot hand equals rock, then we want to say, obviously, you won. And if the bot hand equals scissors, then the bot won, right? Finally, if the hand equals rock, you want to do the following. If the bot hand equals paper, sorry, if the bot hand equals scissors, then you won. If the bot hand equals paper, then the bot won. All right, so now that we have rock, paper, scissors implemented, let's save our changes and give it a test run. So I'm gonna start up the bot, make sure it's online, go to our Discord server and type in the rock, paper, scissors command. And we are going to add one of the commands For one of the emojis for rock, paper, scissors, I'm going to choose paper. I guess the bot also chose paper, so I'm going to... Okay, so if I send rock, paper, scissors with one of the different emojis, the bot will respond with its own emoji, and we can see who won. When I threw rock this time, eventually the bot threw paper and the bot won. Nice. Okay, so that was the tutorial on command basics for your Python bot. The next thing we're going to go over are cogs. So I will see you there. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is add cogs to our bot. And I'm going to create a demo cog to show you how it's done. So we're going to create a directory here called cogs. And inside of that directory, we're going to create a new folder called demo cog. Okay, so these cogs are going to allow us to import and export out functionality into our bot. With this demo cog, I'm going to create an alert cog for it, and we're just going to have just generic commands for it so we can see what it does. Once you have your demo cog file created, you want to create a class for it. So we're going to go ahead and import Discord, and we're going to from Discord dot extensions, we're going to import the commands. And then we're going to create a new class called alert cog, and we're going to add the commands dot cog into here. Every class has to be initialized, so we're going to define the init, self, and bot. And then we're going to call self.bot equals bot. And what's going to happen is in our bot manager, we're going to call the demo cog in here, and we're going to pass the bot into the demo cog. So how do we check if our cog is actually connected to our bot? One thing we can do is add a listener. So we're going to do that here. Commands.cog.listener. And we're going to have it listen to messages. Async define on message self, and then the message. Message, okay, if message dot content equals ping alert cog, then we're gonna send a response back to the channel. So wait message dot channel dot send alert cog is connected. Now that we have the initial setup for our demo cog and alert, we're going to go into the bot manager and we're going to import it in. So at the top here, we want to add 2 libraries, and you want to install them through pip as well. For asyncio, import asyncio, and then we also want to add the cogs. So from cogs dot demo cog import the alert cog we created. Then what you want to do is scroll all the way to the bottom. And we want to add a method to add this cog on the start. So I'm going to create an async function. Start cog await bot dot add cog, and then the alert cog we created, and we want to pass in that bot. So this bot is going to get passed into the alert cog, and we're going to set it to the class itself. Okay, so we got a method to start the cog. Let's add a synco to run it. And we want to start the cog. And this is going to add that cog into the bot when it starts up. Now we're going to go ahead and run this bot. So I'm going to click on that play file on the bot manager, and we're going to see the bot is online. Now I want to check to see if this cog got added. So I'm going to run a ping alert cog in the chat. See if it's connected. Ping alert dash cog. And we can see the Python bot responded, alert cog is connected. So that's good. Now that we have the alert cog connected, we want to add some features where we can unload the cog and reload it back in, just in case we need to make changes. So I'm going to add those functions in now. What we're going to do is call, in the bot manager, we're going to call bot.command, and then we're going to go at commands dot check. And so we only want the owner to remove these cogs. We don't want anybody else to be able to do that. To make sure only the user, the owner, will be able to run these commands, what we want to do is create a function at the top here. And so is me. And then we want to take in the context. And then we want to return context author ID equals your Discord ID. So in order to get your Discord ID, you need to go into Discord. When you look at your user here, click on it. You should be able to see an option that says copy user ID. So we want to click on that, copy the ID, and then we want to add it in here. Now that we have implemented this isMe function, we want to use it down here in our unloading and reloading of the cog. So in the check function, we want to add the isMe. So it runs to make sure whoever's running this command, the ID matches with the owner, right? So async define unload alert context await bot dot remove cog, and then we want to give it the alert cog. Now we want to reload that cog, so let's add a command for that. Bot.command, and then commands.check is me, async, define, reload, alert, context, await, bot dot add cog, and then we just add the cog in again. Alert cog with the bot. Now we have the ability to unload the cogs and reload them back in. So what I'm going to do is stop this current run and rerun this. Wait for the bot to come online. And once the bot's online, let's go ahead and hop onto the Discord server. So I want to check if the bot's online, so I'll ping it. Or make sure the alert cog is added. So I'm going to ping the alert cog. Alert cog is connected, and then we want to do the command to unload it. So unload alert. I'm going to run that, and then we're going to try and ping it again. If we ping it this time, it shouldn't respond. Ping alert cog. And so here we can see that the alert cog got disconnected from the bot. Let's go ahead and reload that alert cog back in here. So I'm going to call the command reload alert. So we reloaded in. Let's ping that alert cog again. And we can see it got connected back in. So the alert cog is working. Okay, so we were able to add the new alert cog into our bot. Now let's add some more functionality to this cog, and we're gonna just call a simple command at first. Let's do that. So we're gonna call commands command, and then we're gonna go async, define a new command called pika, and since it's in a cog class, we have to add the self and then context. And then once we get this message, we're going to await context.send chew. So we got this new command added into our cog called pika. Let's test this out and see if it actually works. So I'm going to go into the bot manager and boot it up. Wait for it to get online. We're going to check out the Discord server. And I'm going to call that new command called pika. And the bot responds with chew. So that actually means it's working and everything's looking good. The next command, we're gonna give the ability for the bot to send an image to the channel. And we're gonna do that through this cog. I have an image already pre-stored. You can make your own image, or you can copy it from this repository, the source code repository. So I'm going to add that image in here. So we got a pika.jpg with a Pikachu. And I'm going to ask Discord to send this image when I give a command. So we're going to make a new command. And call it async. Define Pika image. We're going to call the class and the context. And when it receives this command, we're going to await context.send Pikachu. The file is going to equal a discord.file. And the location of that file is located in cogs pika.jpg. All right. So let's save this information and give it a run. Now, we're going to go back to the bot manager, close any existing running services, run the bot again, wait for it to boot up. The bot is back online. I'm going to go back to the Discord server and I'm going to execute that new command we created, pika image. And when I run that command, it's going to send me that image back to the server. Now, there's a lot of cool things we can do with this. We can also potentially have the server create an image and then send it to the server, and then we can just delete it on our end. So pretty cool. And that is going to be it for the cog. The next thing we're going to go over is creating the tasks, and I will see you in that video. Now we are going to talk about adding tasks to our Python bot, and we're going to add a example task inside of this demo cog here. Now, one thing to note is tasks need a way to start and stop. So let's go ahead and add some tasks for our demo cog here. The first thing we need to do is import the tasks from Discord extensions, and we also want to add the date time from Python. Okay, so now that we have the libraries we need imported, let's create some tasks for Discord. So we're gonna add this task command, and the task is gonna loop every second. We're gonna create a new function called alarm. Okay, so inside of this task, we're gonna check for the now time. So we're gonna use the date time library to get now time. And if now.hour equals the hour that the user input, and now.minute equals the user minute input. If that is true, then we're going to await the context author, create a DM. So we're going to private message this user. I'm going to await context author dot DM channel send the Pikachu alarm is reminding you to catch them all. Now that we have that alarm set, we gotta stop it after it's been awoken. So self alarm stop. In order to call this command and get it started, we got to create our own command for that. So I'm gonna go into commands, command, make an async function, define start alarm, command, self, context, and date. So we want to split the input. So we are going to split the input by hour and minute. And it equals the date dot split by the colon. So the hour, we're going to turn these into integers. And the minute equals int minute. So we're converting these strings into integers, and then we're going to send them into that alarm task that we created. So self dot alarm start context hour and minute. Okay, so now that we have our alarm task set up, we want to go into bot manager and run the bot. Make sure it gets online. From here we can run the start alarm command. And one thing to note is that this alarm runs on military time, so we have to account for that. So currently it's 6:28, so I'm going to go for 6:29, 18:29. Well, 18:30 now. So we're going to start alarm for 18:30, and we'll check back to see if the alarm goes off. All right, so we can see here at 18:30, the bot sent us a personal message of the alarm. The Pikachu alarm is reminding you to catch them all. So it looks like the alarm is working. That's great. All right, so that's how you set up tasks in Python with Discord. And the next course, we are going to go over creating the moderation cog. So I will see you there. All right, so now that we know how cogs work, we're going to start a new cog called mod cog. And this cog is going to allow us to give moderation capabilities to the moderator role. So the first thing you want to do before we get started is go to the Discord server that you're working on, and then on the top left-hand corner, click on this drop-down and select server settings. Go to the roles tab and create a new role. The role we're going to create is called moderator. And we're going to give this role a purple color. Could choose an image for it, but I'm just gonna leave it as is. Okay, so that should be completed, and I should be able to see that role. I should be able to add it to myself here. Okay, so now I'm the moderator. Now that we have our moderator role created, let's go into the source code and create a new file called modcog.py. Inside of this modcog is where we're gonna add the commands for moderators. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and import the libraries we're gonna need. Discord, and then from discord.ext, import commands. And we're also gonna import datetime. Import datetime. And we're gonna create the class. The class is gonna be moderator role cog. And we're going to add the commands.cogs in here. Now we got the class created, we have to create the constructor, the init function, self bot self.bot equals bot. And we're going to add the bot into our constructor. To check if this cog is online when we start up our bot, we're going to add a listener here. Add async. Message self sg if sg.content equals ping moderator dash cog. Then we're going to output the following: await msg dot channel dot send moderator cog is connected. Okay, so we have the listener implemented, and I'm going to add it into the bot manager to make sure it gets picked up. So we're going to do await bot.add cog, and it's going to be moderator role cog bot. Before that's going to work, we got to import it into the library. So I'm going to go to the top here and from cogs.modcog import moderator role cog. Okay, so we got the moderator role cog added in. I'm going to run this bot, wait for it to boot up. The bot is online, and we're going to run that listener command, see if it's the cog got attached. Ping. Okay, so it looks like the cog is connected. That's good. Now we're going to do the same thing as last time where we add a reload and unload command to specifically for the moderator cog. So I'm going to add that in right now. We're just going to copy in the previous commands and we're just going to modify it a little bit. So I'm going to call this unload moderator and reload moderator. To remove the cog, we're going to add the moderator cog, and we're also going to replace that here as well. Okay, so we got that set up. Let's test that out. I'm going to close this, run it. The bot is online. Ping the cog. And now we're going to unload it. And let's try and ping it again to see if it works. Okay, so the unload was successful because it did not respond back to us when we tried to ping it. I'm going to reload it back in. And try to ping it again, see if it responds. And it's online. Okay. So now that we know our bot's connected and we can reload it, unload it, I'm going to add a lot more commands here. I'm not going to go over all of them, but we'll test a few of them to make sure they're working. And then we're going to also add some error handling. So the first command I'm going to give moderators is the ability to create roles. So we're going to add a new command. And in order to ensure that it's only a moderator that can execute this command, I'm going to add commands dot has underscore role and then the moderator role we created earlier. And now we can define the function, create role, self, comma, ctx, star, input, await ctx guild dot create role name equals input. Okay, so we have this new role. Let's make sure that it works, but I also want to add an error handler for this, just in case someone tries to execute this command, but they don't have the role. So what we're going to do is create an error handler and catch that. Create role.error. Sync def error handler self context error, and if is instance error comma commands dot missing role await context dot send you do not have the necessary role for this command. Okay. So we created the create role command. Let's test it out. Let's go back to the bot manager and rerun the Python file. Wait for the bot to come online. I'm going to ping the moderator cog to make sure it's online. Okay, and now we're going to do the new create role command, deckhand. And the reason why I'll be able to create this role is because I have the role of moderator. I'm also going to test it if I don't have that role. Okay, so we created a role deckhand. Let's see if it pops up here. If I click this add, we'll see that the deckhand got added. So I'm going to add that to my roles here, which is great. So that's working. Now what I'm going to do is delete the moderator role from myself and try and run this create role command again. Create role first mate. Okay, and the bot responded, you do not have the necessary role for this command, so it's working. Awesome. Okay, so now that we know that these commands are working and the error handler works as expected, I'm going to add the other commands. So I'm going to try and go as fast as I can here. So we're going to add commands dot command at commands dot has role moderator. And a lot of these are actually going to be pretty much the same with a few differences. So async def kick self context member discord dot member star reason equals none await context dot guild dot kick member reason equals reason. Okay, so this is obviously going to give us the ability to kick users, and we're going to add the error handler here if the user doesn't have the role. Kick dot error. Now we're going to add commands to mute and unmute people, and I'm just going to copy this. So we're going to do mute, and we're going to self context, and then we're also going to get the member again with no reason. And then we're going to go to member actually, I'll just delete all this. Member dot edit mute equals true. Okay, so we have the ability to mute the user at mute dot error. Add that into the error handler. Copy this again. And we're going to do unmute here. Member dot mute, and this will be false. I'm going to also add this into the error handler, unmute dot error. And now we're going to do similar functions, but for deafen and undeafen, pretty much going to be the same as these ones. So we got a member, and then instead of mute, we want to call deafen. And this one's true. The method is also deafen. And then we'll do undeafen. And that equals false. Okay, we want to add both of those in here. Deafen dot error and undeafen dot error. Okay, and finally we're going to do a voice kick. So this one's going to also be similar to these other ones. Moderator, member edit, and then voice channel equals none. Okay, we also have to make sure the method is changed to voice kick. We also want to add it into the error handler here. Voice kick.error. All right. Now we got one last method where we're going to give the moderators the ability to purge the messages in the channel. So the purge method is going to be a little bit more enhanced. It's going to still require these two commands here. And then I'm going to call async def purge self context amount day int equals none month int equals none year equals date time dot now dot year. Okay, now we're going to say if amount equals slash if day equals none or month equals none. We're going to return. Otherwise, await context dot channel dot purge after equals date time year month comma day. And finally, the final else, await context channel dot purge limit equals int amount plus 1. Okay, now that we have this purge command set up, we want to also add an error handler for it. So we want to also add it here. But we also want to add another error handler for another type of errors we might come across. Async def error handler self context error if is instance of error commands dot missing required argument. We will say await context dot send. You have to specify either a date or a number. If is instance error commands dot command invoke error, then await context dot send. You can only have a slash or a number as the first input. Okay, now we got that set up. Let's test it out. All right, so let's test out this purge command. I'm gonna run the bot, make sure it's running. Bot is online. Let's ensure the cog is connected, so I'm gonna ping it. Okay, and now we're gonna run the purge command. Let's make sure I have the proper roles. I need to make sure I'm the moderator. Okay, purge. And so what I'm gonna do is purge this last comment and see if that works. Purge 1, and that bot's comment was deleted. Now what I'm going to try and do is delete everything from today. So we're going to do purge slash and then, which is the 19th and the month. Oh, whoops, I spelled it wrong. Purge slash 19 1. Okay, awesome. So it deleted everything from today. Sweet. Okay, so that's the mod cog task, and the next thing we're going to go over is creating an admin cog. I will see you in the next video. All right, so we were able to get our mod cog implemented successfully. The next thing we're going to do is add the admin cog. This cog is going to follow the same pattern as the last two. There's just going to be one change I'm going to do. That one change is we're going to take this isme command and we're going to put it into a utility package. So I'm going to create a new directory called utils. And I'm going to create a new file called botutil.py. And inside of this botutil.py, I'm going to grab that function we created earlier, paste it in here. Now I still need to use this function, so we're going to get some warnings here. So we need to import that utility, and the way we can do that is by going to import utils.botutil as util. So we're going to import that utility as util. And down here where it's throwing those warnings, we're going to add that in. util.isme, util.isme, isme. Okay, and it should function the same as before. So let's run this and make sure the bot comes back online. Now that we have that function that can identify the owner, we're gonna just make a simple admin cog that will be used for commands just for the owner. You can expand upon this admin cog and the mod cog for different roles. But for this example, I'm just going to focus on the owner of the server. All right, so let's get into this and import the libraries we need. So Discord, import Discord, and then from Discord extensions, we're going to import the commands, and we're also going to import that utility that we added because we're going to use it here as well. And then now this cog is going to be for the owner, so I'm going to call it the owner cog. And we're going to define the constructor init self dash bot, and we're going to add the bot into this class. Now we're going to do that same pattern where we want to make sure the cog is connected. So I'm going to add the listener in. Async def on message self msg if message dot content equals ping owner cog. We're going to send a response back, await message dot channel send owner cog is connected. So we got the listener function implemented. I'm going to go back to the bot manager and import the admin cog in from cogs dot admin cog. Sorry, from cogs admin cog import the owner cog. And once we got that imported, we can add it to the start cog. Owner cog bot. And I'm just going to add the unload and reloads here as well, just to make sure we get it all in one go. So unload owner, reload owner, and it needs to be the moderator owner cog, not the moderator cog, owner cog. So we'll save all that. Let's run the bot again, make sure it picked up. Looks like we got an error here. All right, so the error was because I added the S to the cogs, and when it should just be cog here, as we can see from the error. Lets us know that. Save those changes. Close this and run again. All right, the bot is online. I'm going to check to make sure the owner cog is attached. Ping cog. All right, the owner cog is connected. All right, so now that we have the owner cog connected, I'm just going to add some commands for the owner, and I'll just go over them very briefly. We will test a few of them, but not all of them. All right, so the first few commands are just going to be simple ones. So commands dot commands check util.isMe and async define server name self context star input await context dot guild edit name equals input, and then at commands dot command at commands dot check util is me async define region self context input await context dot guild edit region equals input. Okay, so we're gonna add an error handler for this region because there's only specific regions you can add. Region dot error and async define error handler self context error if is instance of error commands command invoke error await context dot send please enter a valid region name. So what these two commands are going to allow you to do is to change your server's name and also the server's region. The next commands we're going to do is to ban and unban people, and those ones I'll do a quick test for those. All right, so let's add those commands. Commands dot command commands dot check util is me async define ban self context member discord dot member star and then reason equals none. So this will give us the ability to ban the user, and if we don't put any reason, it'll just put reason as none. So wait context guild dot ban member reason equals none. Reason equals reason. Sorry. And then we also want to unban. So it should be these same two check commands here. And then we want to async def unban self context star input and then name and discriminator. Discriminator equals input dot split. So I know some of the older Discord usernames, we used to have that hashtag. Not sure if we use that anymore, but we'll see. Band members equals await dot context dot guild dot bands limit equals 150 for band members in band members for band member in band members. We want to get username equals band member dot user dot name, and then description discriminator equals band member user dot discriminator. If name equals username and discriminator equals discriminator, then we want to await context guild unban band member dot user. All right, so this is going to let us check to unban or ban users. Let's test this out. So what I'm going to do is run this bot, get it up and running. And then we're going to open up a browser page for Discord, but we're going to do it incognito. Discord.com. I'm going to create a new user. The user is going to be another user. All right. Have the user created. Once you get the user created, we will invite it to the server. So go back to the server and get the invite link. Go back to the incognito window, paste that in. The user should join. They should receive a message from our bot welcoming them in. And now we want to ban them from the server. So another user made it, and now I want to ban another user. So we want to get another user's username, and we can get that by clicking on their user. Go in here, and then we should be able to submit that in. So I'm going to ban another user. And once I executed this command, it looks like the user got kicked out of our server. Let's see if I can re-invite him. Unban. And hopefully it's back in. Let's see. This user should be able to get back into our server. I'll send that invite link so they can join back in. All right, so it looks like the method we were using to unban users is now deprecated, and we need to update that. So I'm going to change that right now. It's going to be, instead of this, it's going to be async for entry in context dot guild dot bans. Want to do the following: username equals entry dot user dot name. If the input equals username, then we want to wait context dot guild dot unban entry dot user. All right, so now we can unban the user. Let's test that out and see if it works. So I'm going to go over to the server, and I invited another user back in, but I'm going to ban them again. So ban, get their user ID. So we're banning him. And now he's kicked out of the server. If I try and use that same invite link and go to the browser for another user, let's say I try and join that server again, see what happens. It looks like I'm not able to accept the invite. Now what we need to do is we're going to unban this user so they can get access again. So I'm going to go ahead, run the unban command, unban another user. If we go back to the browser with the other user, and we're going to try and join that server again. And it looks like we are unbanned and that user is back into the server. All right, so I'm going to add a few more commands that aren't really related to the owner, but I just wanted to show some of the extra functionalities you can do with Discord. And it's another annotation with has permissions, so I'm going to add those commands in. Commands.command, and then commands.has permissions, and we're going to do the manage messages equals true. async define create text channel self context star input await context.guild.create text channel name equals input. We're also going to make a similar one to create a voice channel. So manage messages, create voice channel instead this time, and guild create voice channel name equals input. So what this is going to do is if a role has the manage messages capability, then they should be able to create some channels. And I will show how that can be done. If we go into our Discord server and go to server settings and then into the roles, let's say we want to give the deckhand the ability to manage messages. Select that role and go into permissions. And if you scroll all the way down, there should be an option to manage messages. So manage messages allows members to delete messages and do other things. So if the user has this manage messages roles, they will be able to execute these actions here. All right. So let's test out those managing message role. So I'm going to save this, start up the bot, make sure it's running. And we're going to try and create a new text channel. So I'm going to go to this and look at the roles I have. So I have the deckhand role, which is allowed to manage the messages, and I'm going to do create text channel testing. So when I entered this command, it actually created a testing channel. So it's working. Okay, so that was the admin cog. That has been completed. Now we are going to do the final one, which is the poll cog. I will see you there. All right, so for this last task, I'm going to do the poll cog, and we're going to go over it really fast. You can kind of use it as an exercise, and you can also look at the source code. All right, so the first thing we want to do is create the new poll cog, poll cog.py. And inside of this cog, we want to import the libraries that we're going to need. From Discord extension import commands and tasks. And then we're going to create the class for the cog, which we're going to call a poll agent. And like other classes, we have to define the constructor. All right, so where this class is going to differ from the other classes and cogs is that it's going to have a poll choices that the user can select. And how we're going to give the users options to select is through emojis. What you can do is you can create your own emojis, or you can use the emojis in the source code. So if you go to Emojipedia, you can either select your own emojis, or you can go to the source code for this project and use those ones. I'm going to go ahead and add the user choices that I have in the source code. And then I'm going to add the listener command as well. Make sure the new cog gets connected. And this needs to scoot that way. Okay, we're good. Once we have the listener set up, go back to the bot manager, make sure you import that new cog in. Poll cog import poll agent. Then we're going to go ahead and add that agent in here. Poll agent bot. And we're going to also unload and reload that agent back in. Unload poll agent, reload poll agent. All right, so now that we can reload and unload our poll agent, I'm going to add the the one command for this agent, and that is to run a poll. Once again, you can get the source code from GitHub. I'm just gonna go over it real quick because it's not too much, but I just don't want to write it all out right now. Okay, so this cog is gonna use almost all of the things we learned, mostly with commands and tasks. So we're gonna create a command to poll, but we're also gonna create a task that we're gonna loop over. Because we're going to give the users the option to create a poll, and then there's going to be a time limit on that poll that they're going to enter in. So when users use this command, they're going to enter the poll command, and then they're going to give an input of minutes, title, and then an array of options. If the length of options is set to 0, we're just asking for a yes or no poll. Thumbs up, thumbs down. So it could be like questions is like, is Singapore a beautiful place to visit? Or do you like mac and cheese? Just yes and no questions. Otherwise, if there's a list of options, then we're going to utilize this array here to give the users selections that they can pick from. Once the poll is initiated, it's going to initiate a task, which is going to run every minute. And it's going to determine if the poll has been finished yet. When the time has been concluded, the bot's going to add up all the numbers, and then it's going to determine if it's like a yes/no question, if the people like that question, or if they don't think that way, and then if it's option with multiple choices, then it's going to determine which choice won. And so I'm going to go ahead and demo that now. All right, so I started up the bot with the poll agent, and I ran a few commands with it, which you can see here. So I ran the poll command for 1 minute, and I asked, is Singapore a cool place to visit? And when asking that poll, it created a thumbs up or thumbs down option, which I selected the thumbs up. And after 1 minute, the timer went off, and it said, seems that people think that way. So Singapore is a cool place to visit. The next poll I put up was, which place is the best place to vacation? So poll 1 for 1 minute, and then the question, and then the array of arguments. So Singapore, Japan, and New York. And after entering that in, it created this poll here with the options. So the ice cream for Singapore, the icy ice cream. I mean, they're all ice cream options apparently, but different ice cream options. And I selected the one for Singapore. Once the timer went up, it declared that Singapore won the poll. All right, so that is the tutorial for Python Discord bot basics. I hope you enjoyed it. One thing you can think about is how could you improve this further, or things we could do to improve this further. Some of the things we could do is, instead of having a limited array, we could make an unlimited array of choices, or we could set a limit check inside of this poll that if the options are beyond 10 or greater than 10, then we have to tell the user that they are using the poll with too many options. Another thing you could think about is adding a help command to your bot. We didn't go over it in this tutorial, which I should have, but there is an example help command in the source code if you want to look at that for an example. And you could also think about how you could add help commands inside of each cog. Okay, so that was the tutorial on Python Discord bot basics. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you like it, please like and subscribe to these videos.